So, okay. So can we talk about Doug Ford a little bit?
100%.
So for those that know, Doug Ford is from Ontario in Toronto, the capital. And his brother, Rob Ford, was mayor prior to that. And made the news, I think worldwide, but it was crazy that it made news in the US that he was the famous crack smoking mayor of Canada. Which was a crazy story, and he was in a downward spiral by that point. But that didn't get him kicked out of the mayor's office, did it? Right away?
Yeah, like he stayed on as mayor until after the 2014 election.
Yeah,
But yeah, Toronto City Council at the time did vote to remove some of the authorities he had
I see.
in the mayor's office. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just found it such a fascinating story because it seemed to me like he was just the most charismatic person like in city council. And so he got elected because he was the most charismatic. And it seemed that he got along, at least early on when he wasn't spiraling, with all the staffers and people around. And so that kept up his popularity. It's just interesting that, he probably took it too far into his freedoms, but there's something there. There's something about him that was really alluring.
Well, yeah, he obviously will probably forever be known as the crack smoking mayor.
Right.
That's probably a simplistic kind of
For sure.
analysis of him. So he represented Etobicoke.
Okay.
So for people, Etobicoke North. So for people who don't know Toronto very well, it's a suburban kind of part of the city. And he kind of made his original reputation on city council before he was mayor as the guy who, fought was the only guy on city council kind of voting against the awarding of new perks and luxuries for politicians. He has one very viral video that happened before he was mayor where he was, opened up his wallet and went through kind of all of the cards that councillors get with free zoo admission and free parking and free TTC. And he says, this is costing council kind of millions and millions of dollars. And I'm the only guy that's fighting against it. And then the second part that he was really well known for was he gave out his phone number to everybody.
Wow. That's so crazy.
So I never worked for Rob Ford. I only worked for his brother, but he gave out a cell phone number to anyone. And a lot of what a counselor does is very, constituency work focused, right? It's that people call up their counselor's office and they say, go fix, I've got, a pothole on my road. That's an issue, right? Or, the piping, the water in my Toronto community housing building is down. So, they typically with the other counselors, you'd call their office and, they'd probably add you to a list and they'd get to it in 2 weeks. And, the counselor would never show up and actually do the work himself. But with Rob Ford, you'd call his cell phone. He'd show up personally, probably dragging some city bureaucrat with him to the project and got it done.
Yeah.
And so he originally started doing it just kind of in the area of the city that he represented, but pretty soon, he started handing out his cell phone number to people outside of his kind of ward and ticked off every single councillor because he was starting to do their work, right? And that's kind of where he developed his reputation, and that's why people loved him, and that's kind of that momentum that kind of pushed him into the mayor's office, obviously amongst other things. And that's why a lot of people, despite the crack scandal that everybody talks about, they still love him to death because he was kind of the people's politician, is what they referred to him as. He wasn't a slick kind of usual politician who gave you talking points. He was straight up and told it like it was.
Yeah, it was kind of before his time, almost in some respects, right? A man of the people. He'll talk to you and he'll smoke crack with you. He'll do it all.